So I think the first big one is there's 3 traits that are called like the clone death traits, right? So anytime you summon a clone, when you already have 3 out, it will just kill your the oldest clone that you had summoned, right? Yep. It'll just despawn it, and it will proc whatever on death traits you have. So the main 3 on death traits are, I'm just gonna cheat. I was gonna try to name them without looking, but I'm just gonna look.
Are you talking about shatter skills?
No, crippling dissipation, debilitating dissipation, and then confusing combatants. So the way that these have changed, all 3 of these traits, the effects of these traits can now be blocked, dodged, or blinded. So previously it would just apply the effects of those skills no matter what, even if you were invuln or dodging or whatever. Mm-hmm. So now these have a little bit more counterplay now. You can dodge them, you can blind them, and you can, yeah, block them. Did I say block already?
I think you
block,
have.
Dodge, blind.
If not,
those things. So that's the first part of the changes. For debilitating dissipation, I'm going to actually read the text for this so I don't get it wrong. The bleeding from this trait has been reduced from 3 stacks for 5 seconds, which is how it was before, to now it's 2 stacks for 4 seconds. So there's a little bit of a shave there. Yeah. Yes. A little bit of a shave there, as we like to say. So this should hopefully start to address some of the concerns with PU Mesmer and how it plays. The last portion is actually with Prismatic Understanding itself. I'm going to read the text here verbatim so I don't get it wrong as well. So this trait is now able to apply Swiftness for 3 seconds and Might for 5 seconds in addition to the previous boons. So originally there was like a 33% chance for you to pull any one of the boons that were available. Right. So that was Prot, Regen, and Aegis. Yes. So now it has a larger pool, so the chance of having each one of those boons stack up multiple times is far reduced. So I just wanted to throw that out to you guys, just so you can kind of take that into account when you guys are discussing PU Mesmer. I will say I've play tested the crap out of PU Mesmer the past couple days.
I've seen it.
Yes, lots of dueling going on, lots of fighting, lots of playing around. I would say that if you do nothing but auto attack with Scepter 1, you maintain around 5 to 6 stacks with just like a normal PU build. So it's not the end of the world. I think if you're spamming nothing but the 1 skill in Scepter, you're probably playing it wrong.
Doing it wrong, yeah.
But it's not like the end of the world. This is going to blow out the spec kind of thing. And I think the other changes that we've done in addition to that will probably help balance it out quite a bit as well. Yeah. And that's kind of a global change since those affect all the traits. A bit more counterplay, which is something that we've been slowly working on adding. So I'm pretty excited for that.
As a Mesmer player, when I first heard about this meeting, I was...
You gave me a face.
I gave a lot of people faces. But I can appreciate these changes. I think they'll be good for the game. And, you know, they're minor shaves like we do. So it's not going to be devastating. It'll just kind of bring things in line a bit.
Indeed. All right, so I know we have our Guardian Necromancers are waiting for the changes. So I believe Ruby has got the video queued up for us, and she's going to play us off the skill bar.
Hello and welcome back to the skill bar. My name's Carl McLean. We're going to wrap up this feature pack with the Guardian and the Necromancer. Let's begin today with the Guardian and their traits. Elite Focus. In addition to its current functionality, this trait will now grant stability while using tome skills. Each tome will gain stability when it gains its associated boon, either protection or retaliation. Glacial Heart. We wanted this trait to be usable more frequently in combat, so the duration, the recharge has been reduced 15 seconds. The chill duration has been reduced from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. Eternal Spirit. This trait has been reworked and renamed to Expeditious Spirit, which will now reduce the cooldown of activated abilities for your spirit weapons. Why am I saying this? Because spirit weapons have had their functionality reworked slightly. With this upcoming feature pack, you will no longer lose your spirit weapon when you activate their command ability. Instead, they will naturally be able to use their abilities more than once before dying. Let's talk about some of the upcoming changes to command skills for the Guardian spirit weapons. Hammer of Wisdom now has a blast finisher when activated. Sword of Justice applies 5 stacks of vulnerability to all enemies struck. Shield of the Avenger will now bounce to allied targets and apply Aegis to them. Bow of Truth. This ability has become ground targeted and can now be cast at up to 1200 range. Merciful Intervention. This ability is now a 180 radius ground targeted skill that will shadow step the Guardian to an ally in the targeted area, healing allies around the Guardian. Note that if there are no allies in the targeted area, you will not shadow step. Renewed Focus. This elite skill is now categorized as a meditation and will function with Meditation Mastery, Focus Mind, and Monk's Focus. In addition to the added effects of Elite Focus, tomes have had some of their skills slightly updated. For Tome of Wrath, Conflagrate has had its damage increased by 10%. Judgment has had its cast time reduced by 1.5 seconds. When paired with Judge's Fervor, this ability activates really quickly. For the Tome of Courage, Purifying Ribbon has had the number of conditions that it removes increase from 1 to 2 on each hit. And that's all for the Guardian. Let's move on to the Necromancer. First off, let's talk about the Necromancer's traits. Last Gasp, in the Soul Reaping line, is now categorized as a spectral skill and will be reduced and buffed by spectral traits. Additionally, the recharge has been reduced from 60 seconds to 50 seconds. Next up is Unholy Sanctuary in the Necromancer's Death Magic line. In addition to healing, this trait will now activate Death Shroud if you have enough life force when you would take a lethal blow, meaning that an attack that would kill you or a condition that would kill you will now activate your Death Shroud for you. A couple of things to note is that the trait has a 30-second internal cooldown, and if the trait triggers, even if your Death Shroud is on cooldown, it will circumvent that cooldown. Death Shroud itself has received some changes. Necromancers will now be able to interact with things while in Death Shroud, meaning you can resurrect allies or finish downed enemies. Corrupt Boon. The cast time of this ability has been increased by about a quarter second, bringing the skill up to about a total of 1/2 second cast time. This change also reduces the aftercast of Corrupt Boon by about a quarter second. Signet of Vampirism. The active time of this ability has been increased from 5 seconds to 6 seconds. Spectral Armor. As with the Last Gasp trait, the recharge of this ability has been reduced from 60 seconds to 50 seconds. Rending Claws. The aftercast of this ability has been reduced by about a quarter second, meaning that you can activate new abilities or repeat Rending Claws much quicker than you could before. Ghastly Claws. The damage of this ability has been increased by 10%. Necrotic Slash, Stab, and Bite have all had their number of targets increased from 1 to 2, meaning you'll have a slight cleaving effect on your dagger attack abilities. As with the Thief, the positive effects from these abilities can only occur once per swing. Locust Swarm. The duration of swiftness on this ability has been increased from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. And last but not least, let's talk about Lich Form. The overall duration of this transform was a little bit long, so we've reduced it from 30 seconds to 20 seconds. As with other transforms throughout all the professions, we've reduced its power scale down to the player's normal power scale. To compensate for this, we have increased the damage multipliers of each of the Lich's abilities to be about what they were before this change. This change ensures that your Lich Form damage remains as high as it was before, but that Sigil of Fire and Air and other outside activations don't deal exponential damage. That's all we got for you today. Check out all this and more for yourself on September 9th with the upcoming feature pack.